speed.
Hey guys, check me out. I'm gonna do a short sale real quick. Here's how this goes. Smoking Tire vintage look shirt with no car in it, in blue and in red, and we're only gonna sell them for 10 days. July 31st through August 10th. That's it. Hit the link in the description, buy one of these shirts, and come August 10th, we're taking them down and we're never putting them back up. That's how it's gonna go. Limited edition sale. Get them while they's hot. Hit that link. What up, people? We are in Malibu. It's always a good day when I get to hang out with Alex, and we haven't done anything for the Smoking Tire together since the Morgan three-wheeler, which I loved. So good. Now, your Citroen SM 73. Some say the prettiest car ever made. Some do not say that.
It depends if you look from the front or the back.
It's good to be making a video with Alex. And this car is super weird, so there's a lot of stuff to explain. Tell me everything about the Citroen SM.
Well, the manual says that you've got to have like 50 hours of experience in this car to drive it safely.
Flight training manual.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest cars ever made.
I think it's the weirdest. Certainly that went into mass production. So this is a 73, which had the better engine, which is a 3-liter V6 from Maserati. One of the manual transmission cars, which you want, because the 3-speed automatic is a dog.
No, and the 5-speed has one of the coolest shifter boots, if you can call it a shifter boot. Clearly inspired the Volvo V60R later, but the all-metal shifter boot is cool. Okay,
you can see, I mean, the Italian influence. So Citroen back in the day bought Maserati because they were done.
Yeah,
like, pretty much like every few years, and and so Citroen wanted to make an exotic. They wanted to make a supercar, and you know what was there back then? 911, a couple of Ferraris, Lamborghinis. So they wanted to make like the state-of-the-art car. So the plan was to have a Maserati 4-liter V8.
Which was out of the Bora, right?
Yeah. Well, they were actually developing a new motor, and it didn't happen. So they ended up using this Maserati engine, this 2.7, and then eventually moved to the 3-liter 6, which is the same engine you see in a Merak.
How much power is it now?
170 horsepower.
Yeah, buddy.
And you know, and this is a very heavy car. I don't even, you know, off the top of my head, it's 30. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. It's heavy.
But is it? It's front-wheel drive.
It's front-wheel drive, and the idea was to make a real GT, so a car that two couples could go from Paris to Monaco on one tank of gas with luggage comfortably.
And actually, it is possible.
It's totally possible.
It's a true 4-seat car. The seats are incredible. It's on hydro-pneumatic suspension, which is a high-pressure oil system.
Correct, and there's a big reservoir in the under the hood,
which you can and you can adjust it with a lever. It's actual height adjustable.
That's correct. So you've got 4 settings. You've got normal, which we're in now.
How do we go low? Can we go low real quick?
Yeah. So you pull it out and move it forward. And then low is really jacking mode. You don't want to drive on that.
Oh yeah. Now we're on low.
I mean, it's literally like an inch off the ground.
Right. And now how do I go back to regular?
So you
back to where it was.
Back to where it was. It's back to standard mode.
That's standard.
And then you let the car percolate.
Oh, now okay. Now we're going up.
The front goes first.
If I give it a few revs, does that help?
Yeah. Well, you know, the system got to pressurize
because the oil, the whole hydro-pneumatic system is at the front of the engine bay, running off an exposed prop shaft right out of the middle of the engine. Oh, and there we go. Ass end up.
There's 2 more modes. There's one is a little higher for clearance, and then there is the other mode for jacking. So when you can run this car on three wheels.
Yeah.
Basically. So there's no jack. There's just a rod. So if you need to change a tire, you put the car in high mode, put the rod, and then drop it to low mode, and the car angles opposite.
It's hilarious. All right, well, let's drive it. Parking brake off. The weirdest thing about driving it, one, single spoke steering wheels are weird.
Yeah.
But not that weird. What's weird is the brake pedal. The brake pedal is not actually a pedal. The brake pedal is just a rubber nipple. Oh, rev it up. Hang on.
And remember, it's only like two and a half turns lock to lock. Super sensitive, speed sensitive steering. Okay. So you want to be really careful touching that steering wheel.
The steering, I remember I drove this car once and had the quickest steering ratio of pretty much any car I've ever driven. So going into corner 1, brake, and I mean, look, dude, steering, it's like no input. You need no input to steer the car.
And of course, you've got that leaning.
It leans a bit. It leans
a bit, but it's all right. Oh, it really does take some getting used to. The shifter linkage is just delightful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Awesome. The thing about this car, I mean, is that if the car's running properly, and I just got an engine rebuild, you can really run up the revs, and it sounds great. It doesn't sound good until 3,500, 4,000, above 4,000.
Right now I'm cruising at 28. We've managed to find ourselves behind a van, but that's okay. It gives me an excuse to get used to things. But
like the
it's
brakes.
got a nice, yeah. So the brakes, it's like a video game, right? It's like, imagine a mini toilet plunger head at the bottom, and you just squeeze that, and that's your brake, and that's extremely, extremely strange. How long does that take? You can't really. Can you heel toe? Yeah, you can actually, right?
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't call it exciting.
So the best things about this car are the view out of it, the greenhouse. It's just the best.
Yeah, the visibility is amazing, and you can roll over a bump at pretty much any speed, and you barely feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because this thing. Isn't there the story about the Citroen famously like car chase?
President Charles de Gaulle, assassins came after him. They shot out one of the wheels, one of the tires, and they got away.
Right, he got away.
And after that, for the rest of his life, he'd only ride in Citroens, or legend says.
Legend says. That makes some sense.
I mean, the thing about this car is, and to this day, you can't buy a GT at any price. Even like a Bentley Continental GT isn't as comfortable in a straight line as a long distance car. This thing is just, it's amazing. And at high speed, the car will do 140 miles an hour.
All right. Oh, wow. Oh, sensitive brakes. I'm going to flip around because I want to drive unimpeded. Wow, the brakes are, when you're coming to a full stop, they're super weird. Okay, no lock needed there. All right, now let's rev this thing out a bit. Oh, it really does have a bit of a Maserati sound up top.
That's when it gets good. Yeah.
Although it's not actually gated, it does have a bit of that gated feel. Oh wow, the brakes are so weird. It's such, I mean, it's a millimeter in between real brakes and just kind of a little bit. It's like the ride is so good though.
It's funny, is you really need to plan in advance the turns. Like you really.
But it is just floating across the pavement. I mean, and I drove up in an SL, which is also quite floaty, but this is like, it really is, it's like almost like a Phantom or something. Have you driven a Phantom?
I have.
It's like driving a Phantom, isn't it?
Yes, without the power and the brakes.
Well, the Phantom, you got to use like a quarter of the throttle all the time. That's how you drive. You drive underhanded. This is... I think you should not sell this, Alex. I think you should keep this just so we can go to Pebble Beach every year and get together.
Well, this is the perfect Pebble Beach car, but
it is.
I don't take it further than Pebble Beach and Vegas a couple times a year.
Is that all you really use it for?
That's pretty much all I use it for. And it sits with the battery tender, and I try to keep it in mint condition.
I'm so nervous about passing a cyclist with a steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's good. Dude, it's actually got pretty good grip too. I didn't smoke too soon. It's good grip until it doesn't.
I mean, it's not only is it heavy, it's also very long, and because it's front wheel drive, you want to be real careful with the cornering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to roll it.
It's just
really
amazing.
It's a nice engine.
There's no squeaks and rattles.
No.
And the road noise is. Nothing.
How horrible is the maintenance on this thing?
Well, you know, it's when something goes wrong, it can go really wrong. If it's properly maintained, it's fine. You know, I did the engine rebuild. You gotta check the oil. You know,
all the oil, right? Is it the hydropneumatic oil? Does that need checking as well?
You should check it periodically. I haven't had an issue with it. My main issue was once I guess I bought it 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
One time I had a leak in the hydrodynamic system. But since I got the engine rebuild, the thing's burned very little oil. I was surprised. Before that, you parked it, oil pulling on the floor. My garage in my old building got upset because whenever I would move, they'd see like this thing.
Oh.
So, in the engine bay, there's actually a little area specifically to put the pneumatic fluid canister. And there's really only a couple of mechanics in the country you want to go to. There's a guy in San Francisco. There's Jerry Hathaway. You know, I go to Morgan West. And there's a guy in Virginia that I bought the car from, who is, vice president of the Citroen Collectors Club.
Are any of these people younger than 60?
I don't think so.
That's what I would worry about. Is that there's
no.
no one picking up this torch. Oh my God, the brakes, Alex. They're so weird. They're so weird when you're trying to come to a complete stop. But U-turns are great.
Oh yeah, the turning radius.
Turning radius for a long car is super, super good. I completely get the idea of doing an actual Grand Tour in this vehicle. It makes a lot of sense.
It's awesome because it also has a very large fuel tank. It'll go like, I think I've done 350 miles.
Oh, that is large. That is large tank.
And it gets like, I've gotten like 22 miles a gallon.
Well, it's super aerodynamic, obviously, right?
And it's with wider front track and narrow rear track, which is really great for handling.
It's the camback design.
Some crazy assholes did the short version, took it on like the Dakar. Straight.
A short wheelbase?
Yeah, and I guess it's not a mystery. No one's seen that car since.
This thing is so... This is where you need that. I mean, it did work.
It's funny because you'll notice on the speedometer, it's got stopping distance in feet linked to speed.
No way.
That? Yeah.
Oh, stopping distance, dry road feet.
So
why isn't it in meters?
Well, it's the US version car. It's got the US spec headlights, which are not as cool as the European ones, which pivoted up, down, left, and right with suspension.
Seems like something you don't need to fix.
Yeah, and I tried to order the European headlights, and it was like $10,000.
Of course.
The thing with the stopping distance is it feels like it's not good, but in 1972, this was Motor Trend Car of the Year, and it had like the shortest stopping distance ever recorded by Motor Trend, which says something about how dangerous all the other cars were.
Right? This car makes so much sense for so many reasons. Like, for an old car, it really does drive like nice.
You can imagine if Citroen actually made a modern SM, how good it would be.
It would probably be amazing. I don't even think there really is. What would the equivalent of this be today? I don't think there really is one.
There isn't one.
A car that has this much weird stuff going on, but that just it's like a real engineering feat. To make something that rides this well is very difficult.
It is, and you had to be a crazy asshole to invest the money in this car in '73. Because think about other cars you could have bought for that money.
How much was this in '73?
I don't know, but I think it was $12,000.
It's probably very, very expensive.
It was more expensive than the most expensive 911 variant. And today, they run from $500 to $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want for this one?
$50. Mine's a driver's car.
Yeah,
I drive it. It's got 70,000 miles.
It's got a Jaeger LeCouture clock.
Yeah, everything works. Air conditioning.
Air conditioning does work. How about that? All right. Well, Alex is going to sell this car. It drives really good. If you want to buy it, you know where to find him. I'll put a link in the description.
Thanks.
It's not. I don't need to blow smoke up your ass. This is a nice car. I've always loved this car. It makes me very sad that you want to sell it. It's so you.
It lives in California, and I drive my Morgan in New York every day.
And you drive, yeah.
If I lived here, I'd keep the car.
It's so you.
Yeah, it's so me.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck with the sale, as they say. Thanks for watching.
Leave it on, just in case.